We are back at Silver Palms in Bonaccord, this time at the recently constructed Kaylee Villa. Now I've got all the details about this villa and yes, your Tobago-centric stories too. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Let's explore. Tobago security, a top priority. We'll tell you more about a major collaboration between the THA and the protective services. Tobagonians are being encouraged to reduce waste deposits on the island, and we chat with a well-known mentor about International Day of the Boy Child.
Yo, what's up? This is yours truly Positive, and you're locked on to Let's Talk Tobago. Easy, bless.
Keeping our residents and visitors safe is top priority for policymakers and our protective services in Tobago. Recently, Chief Secretary, the Honorable Farley Augustine, held a joint press conference to address security on the island. And we have some snippets to share with you in this next story.
This issue of gang-related offenses is primarily responsible for some of the murders that has recently been perpetrated on the island of Tobago. I have instituted 2 teams of officers led by 2 inspectors of police who have been given the mandate, together with the members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, to rid all corners of Tobago of gangs and drug blocks that are presently causing havoc to our beloved citizens. Life will not be easy, as I ask members of the citizens, law-abiding, to bear with us as we search all vehicles and homes that are causing this disruption to our beautiful citizens of Tobago.
Our efforts in supporting the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will focus on 4 lines of effort, which includes joint patrolling, targeted operations, increased planning and support for strategy and concept development, as well as community development initiatives so that we build greater resiliency in the communities.
The THA is providing the necessary accommodation for up to about 30 additional officers to augment the strength here on the island. There is also a need for access to vehicles so that they can carry out their task. The THA again is making that provision. In fact, the request is for 4 additional specific to the operations Mr. Hazel just spoke about. The THA is again providing that to ensure that they can complete the task necessary. We are using 2-on-1 to develop an app and to create an anonymous line so that we can have a proper informant system so that one can be assured that you can call and you can relay information that will get safely to the TTPS without being injurious to yourself. That is important. Informant support is important. And we need Tobagonians to play that role if we are to have a dent in crime.
Trinidad and Tobago athletes recently blazed the track at the Dwight York Stadium at the recent Zenith meets. Our crew was there and we have all the action in this next story.
Quick, clean starts, long strides, and flawless baton passes will have to be the remedy to medal at this weekend's 12th Zenith Relays and Field Events Festival. And it's happening right here at the Dwight York Stadium, Bacalet. Beautiful Tobago, sunny day. And I'm telling you, 17 clubs are competing over the weekend. It's a grand weekend here in Tobago. And we're going to take to the field to see what is running off.
Well, it's a testament to how far the club has reached to have to host the 12th really festival in 2023. I mean, as a club, we have always taken a stance that development is our main goal. And to have to host the 12th one, I think, it really speaks to the growth and development of the club as well, and in the Tobago space.
And it has been a staple over the years in terms of competition. It augurs well for the actual long-term season planning for most athletes. When we watch the raw talent, it comes from the communities that do not really have the resources available to them. When we watch the Tocos, the Valencias, and you could see Tobago to some extent because Tobago has one stadium, whereas we have 3 stadiums there that is available to us. So Tobago is a very important part of our athlete development plans, and the more we could get access to Tobago, the more we could get resources in Tobago, I think it will augur well for the long-term success planning for Trinidad and Tobago track and field athletes.
So I'm sitting here with Berenice, and who are you backing this weekend?
I'm backing Kaizen and UTT.
Well, that should be obvious. She has a Kaizen Panthers athlete right next to her, and you've been enjoying the weekend so far, right?
Of course, it has been going very good.
All right, so there you have it. If you missed it, you should come on down. As Berenice said, it's a beautiful weekend, right?
Yes.
So we're broadcasting straight from the Dwight York Stadium, and this is day 1 of 2. Stay tuned. Remember, it's Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Ryan McCool, and it's back to you.
The Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative has been encouraging persons to reduce waste deposit on the island. And just how you can do that, we'll tell you in this next story.
Recycling is a lifestyle. It's something that you probably may not get overnight, but you'd have to work on it consistently to ensure that it becomes part of your mundane routine. And that's why the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here in the Canaan area to help sensitize persons about adapting that lifestyle.
Even before we started the pop-up series, people have been responding pretty nicely. We are taking recycling to the communities because, and we not only be in the public space, we also actively involved in the schools program. So and that is where you need to spread the culture through the school, the students, and also with the communities, because the communities have to take responsibility for their waste. And when you get the community involved, they are the best waste managers you can find.
What are some of the ideas you could use at home to recycle?
Okay, sometimes I do a lot of recycling. Like for instance, you know the plastic egg trays? Okay, so the part that is shaped like a half an egg, I sometimes cut that out and I use it to make ice. I use it as ice tray.
Sometimes you buy newspaper and you have a lot of old newspaper because you keep reading them and you want to know what to do instead of just burning them. What I do, I fold them into and make little cups like. I put a little tape to hold it together, and then you put the soil inside of it, so you could culture seedlings inside of them, and when they reach big enough, then you can put them in the ground. The beauty about that, you don't even have to take off the paper most of the time, because by constantly wetting them until the paper is moist, it's not hard, and that would save you from, buying those plastic things.
The bags that I get here, I actually use as my trash bags. Number one, because it is small, I have to take it out more often. And then, as part of that, I also use one to gather my fresh, vegetables and stuff that I cut off. I gather that in a bag, and so I use that to add to my compost.
So we learned a lot of stuff today about recycling, and most importantly, we learned that you don't only have to recycle non-biodegradable waste, you can also recycle organic matter and turn it into something called compost or vermicompost, which is absolutely beneficial for your garden. For all you organic farmers out there looking for healthier produce, for greater yields, you can try it, composting. It introduces beneficial microbes to your soil. And you could do a lot more at home as well. Remember to reduce, reuse, recycle. So from Isaac and I'm Ryan McCool, and you've been watching Let's Talk Tobago.
Guys, we have to take a break right now, but we have more coming up for you right after this. Stay close. Kaylee Villa is a newly built villa located in Silver Palms within Bonacore development. This villa is your perfect vacation home for the family. Kaylee Villa is designed for a vacation of fun and entertainment with a water slide, jacuzzi, outdoor kitchen with all appliances, outdoor karaoke and plenty of areas around the villa for liming. The villa is perfectly located, walking distance to local beaches, bars and restaurants. There is so much to entertain you and the family both in and around the villa.
Yo, what going on? This is Jaranus, and you're locked on to Let's Talk Tobago. Don't touch that dial.
So we're chatting with Mr. Michael Stewart, and he is the Caribbean coordinator for World Day of the Boy Child. Mr. Stewart, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And let's get right to it. So as founder of B-Men, how do you link International Day of the Boy Child and B-Men?
Well, B-Men was founded in order to advocate for the issues of men and boys. So the arm that deals with the boys, we usually cooperate with the World Day of the Boy Child. So what we do, we meet with a number of young men and we interact with them. We bring the information to bear to some of the workshops and programs that we want to do internationally on that scale.
Okay, and what impact does International Day of the Boy Child have on boys in Tobago?
Well, I would tell you that not much. Unfortunately, because we do not put emphasis on it, unlike the other organizations, like when you have International Women's Day, that is sponsored by UN or at least recognized by UN on their calendar. So sponsors, business places will do things for that in order to get publicity. UN does not have World Day of the Boy Child nor International Men's Day. So International Men's Day, that day is listed on UN as World Toilet Day. And the one for Boy Child, which was just recently, that one I think it is written for Day of Peace.
Yeah.
So it means therefore that you don't attract the kind of resources and attention to the boys as you would very well like. So hopefully this year we'll be able to have some measure of awareness and sensitivity towards that, especially when we recently had the crime summit in Trinidad, and it recognized that a number of young men have gone astray. We may be able to have now some more emphasis placed on it. But we need institutions, government institutions, businesses to come on board in order to be able to give us the kind of fillip that we need.
And what are some of the challenges experienced with boys in Tobago?
Well, one of it clearly is being brought up by a single parent household, particularly single parent by a mother who may not understand all the nuances that a boy would go through. So, for example, a boy will wake up with an erection. I've met mothers who could not understand why that was so, right? And so they would have a certain reaction to it, thinking that probably this is something that may be wrong, promiscuous and so on, which is natural because a boy's testosterone level is highest in the morning, a man's also. So this is why that takes place. Some of the things that a man would, or a boy as he becomes a man, would want to take charge of, especially if he has a single mother, he tries to take charge of her to replace his own father. And that may come across of trying to rule her. So it is trying to understand all of those things that he goes through, and if we punish wrongly without understanding what the boy may be trying to achieve, it could damage him emotionally and cause him to withdraw. And later on, when they want him to take charge, he's unwilling.
Are programs available to deal with situations like these?
Well, we had, through B-Men, a program called Boys Polishing Camp. In that Boys Polishing Camp, it was supposed to deal with many of these issues. Unfortunately, it was sponsored at that time. We got sponsorship. We haven't had sponsorship for that since then because of probably the economy, etc. So we have not been able to continue. That was supposed to track boys over 5 years to see how they are. There's a current boy, A.J. Allen. I don't know if you've heard of him. J. Allen, he has gone and been the mock prime minister in youth parliament, etc. He came through our boys polishing camp, and he's one of our proud graduates of that program. We would have wanted to continue that as it developed, but we were not able to sustain that. However, for the last 2 years, I have been going to St. Lucia, who saw it, liked it, and putting resources towards it. I am out there again in August, doing it again this year. Unfortunately, we can't do it in Tobago because it costs, right? For example, when you're doing meals, we try for them not to come with meals home because many of these boys, 16 years old, never ate with knife and fork, with their hands. They were accustomed to a box food.
Yeah.
So we want to give them a balanced meal, help them with knife and fork and so on, but that costs to be able to get a caterer, bring in food, etc., for a period of probably 5 days, etc. That's why we need the kind of support from businesses and governmental institutions.
And you have safe spaces for women and girls, but are there safe spaces for boys in Tobago?
Unfortunately, again, no. So this is one of the reasons why we are so much falling behind. And it's unfortunate because I don't think that enough people are sensitive as to what it is causing and how this is going to play out in a number of years coming down. So the answer is unknown.
And in terms of advice, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a parent or parents as it relates to how they nurture our boys?
I think it is important for a boy to have a listening ear. He feels that if he's heard, he feels that he can now have a voice. And one of the reasons why they have become silent, I believe, is because they don't feel as though they have a voice. And the number one listening ear that every boy wants is his father's ear. And so we need to find out, even when the relationship breaks down between a man and a woman, I think that they must be able to be collaborative enough so that they could recognize our issues should not supersede the needs of the boy, and have him make that connection with the father. And fathers need to take the time off, sacrifice the time. There was one young man who was disruptive in school, and when I spoke with him when his mother brought him in, it was because the father and mother had separated. And so he wanted to be connected to the father. The mother had taken the father to court for maintenance. And all of that was bothering him. They didn't know that. So when we spoke with the father, and the father understood that the boy wanted to spend time with him, even though he lived with the mother, he promised all three of us, the mother, father, myself, if he got to be with the father every so often, like every weekend, they will never have a problem with him again. And he kept his word. The last time I saw the parent, which was about a year or 2 years after, the mother said, he is a model boy. He has never been suspended from school again. All he required was to connect back with his father.
And that's important. Boys being able to connect and stay connected with their fathers. And that's it from us with Mr. Michael Stewart chatting with us about World Day of the Boy Child. So recently, the world celebrated Mother's Day. And here in Tobago, our Chief Secretary, the Honorable Farley Augustine, brought Mother's Day cheer to women of his division, the Office of the Chief Secretary. The gifts? Very thoughtful. Check it out.
Today, we are going to specially honor all the mothers in my two divisions, OCS and Finance. And of course, while we're at it, we're sending greetings to all our mothers all across the country, especially those in my electoral district of Palativere, Lansome, Speyside. So, happy Mother's Day. Let's go celebrate women, motherhood, maternal instincts, and all the maternal bonds that we have. You know, they say, the hands that rock the cradle rules the world. Let's go. So I've just completed my both divisions. Last stop was here where we have records, where we store documents at this very old building of the fort, as we call it. We went through all of OCS, all of the Division of Finance, and we were able to celebrate all of our mothers and celebrate the fact that they are contributing to the development of Tobago. Thank you for being there for me. Happy Mother's Day all. God's richest blessings.
A truly relaxing poolside at Kaylee's Villa. But guys, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. Now for more of our content, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. You can also visit our website at www.tha.gov.tt. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, thank you so much for viewing and see you soon.